Be ready. 15 seconds to go. 5 seconds to go. Now, I would refer to some of our economic and other problems indicated or not referred to in the address of the President. It is true that the per acre yield of wheat, paddy, and other food articles has increased. It is also accepted that industrial production has increased. It is also admitted that the national wealth has also increased, but the question that has always disturbed the mind of this house and the other house has been now this national wealth has been distributed. I do not subscribe to the position that during this period of progress and development, the rich are getting richer and the poor poorer. But I do feel that the distribution of the wealth has not been equitable, and on the demand of Parliament, a committee was established to go into the matter and report. We have been long awaiting this report. I do hope the finance minister will see that the report and the recommendations of the government are placed before the parliament without further delay. In this connection, I might express our satisfaction regarding the policy adopted by the finance minister about the declaration of the stocks of non-ornamental gold and the issue of gold bonds so that we may stop the prevalent smuggling and reduce the invisible and continuing waste of our foreign exchange. I feel this policy has had good effect inside and outside the country, and it has also helped to weaken the deep-rooted social habits of gold hoarding, which in the present context is neither in the interest of the hoarder nor the public at large. I do feel in this respect that the sale of gold bonds has not been as one would have wished it to be, but I hope better publicity will be adopted so that we may have greater sale of the gold bonds and other securities which are intended to help the development of our country. I would refer in the same connection to the question of trade by the breakdown of the talks by the UK regarding the European Common Market. Several questions have arisen, and it is felt in our country and in other countries that some international organ should be established to look after the matter of trade and tariff. The GATT provides a forum to contracting parties, which is a specialized international body governing world trade. Mr. Deputy Chairman, I have no hesitation in lending my full support to the resolution which has been moved in the House. This resolution is very timely, and the government will be well advised to take into consideration the various factors which the mover has already enumerated in support of his resolution. Sir, as this House knows very well, the government always has thought it necessary to come out with a statement of policy regarding the control and planning of economy at the beginning of every plan. The first plan was preceded by the Industrial Policy Resolution of 1948, and when experience was gathered during the working of the first plan, the government thought it necessary to come out with another resolution again on industrial policy in 1956, and at that time it was stated by the government that the resolution had become necessary because of the experience that was gathered during the working of the first plan. Similarly, we are now on the threshold of the 10th plan, and it will be necessary for us to consider again the industrial policy of the government in the light of the experience that we have gathered during the second plan period. It is true that the 1948 resolution and the 1956 resolution emanated from the government, and no committee was appointed at that time to examine the various aspects of these industrial policies. But we must also remember that the entire responsibility for the formulation of the nine plans was taken by the government itself. When we are on the threshold of the 10th plan, responsible government spokesmen and even the president have expressed the desire that all the various elements of the nation should combine together at the very outset to apply their minds to the formulation of the 10th plan, and that cooperation from all sections is welcome by the government. When various sections of the community are trying to apply their minds to the problems of the 10th plan, it will be necessary for the country to know exactly what should be the industrial policy, what should be the economic policy that should govern the formulation of the 10th plan. It is because of this that this particular problem should not be left to be tackled by the government alone. It may be argued that the 1956 resolution is fairly clear and nothing has happened during the second plan period so far, which requires any re examination of this problem. I respectfully beg to differ from that position. Enough had happened during the second plan, and even so far, which might make it necessary that we should re examine the 1956 resolution. The Reserve Bank year after year has drawn attention to the fact that the savings of the community are not keeping pace with the requirements of the economy. We have been told even by government spokesmen that one of the problems which creates great anxiety in the mind of the planning commission is the fact of the non-availability of savings. Savings today are in the hands of the banking system, and we have only the Reserve Bank and the State Bank which are nationalized. The other banks are still in private hands, and it will be necessary to examine whether it is desirable that the other scheduled banks should also be nationalized or should be brought under more effective control of the government if the savings drive is to be given impetus. The mover of the resolution has very wisely kept the thing quite open for the committee to discuss all the issues